Hello, everyone. Um, my name is Beth, and you probably haven't seen me for a while because I have been in this deep hermit. But I figured I would come live and I would talk about the different things that are coming up, talk a little bit about the collective, and just share, a little bit about what we're going through here at Beth Barling Wellness and at the Serpent and the Dove. Um, we love going live in these spaces because we feel like nobody gets these notifications. But if you get this notification and you come here and see me, drop a note. Let us know that you were able to see us. I learned a new thing today. I learned how to cross post. So hopefully, I am live in Beth Barling Wellness and in the Serpent and the Dove. Stephanie and I, so my sister, who owns the Serpent and the Dove with me, which is our spiritual collective. It's where we do circles, empowerment circles, moon circles, gatherings in community where we bring people together. It's also where we host our retreats. So the Serpent and the Dove is the latest iteration of what was once the American Witch Tour and then became, what was it? The Witch and the Priestess. And we are feeling really grounded in this newest iteration of what we're doing, the Serpent and the Dove. So just really embracing the feminine in all of her aspects and, just really excited about what that means for us and the shift that means for us and the ways that we can come into these spaces. So I'm just really here to hang out. I'm really just here to talk because I haven't come live in a long time. This has been a long hermit season for me, and the collective is super wild right now, especially in social media, especially in these spaces. And it felt appropriate to come in here and start sharing in a different way. We've been so busy with our live events. We've been so busy with our circles and preparing for the year ahead and preparing for our new retreats that are coming up this year. And also our personal practices and our personal studies. So if you know me, you know that I am working on my master's in theology while embracing perimenopause, which is super beautiful. So my brain is a little foggy, but it's okay. I just keep reading until it comes through. But it's been a deep dive for the past couple of years as I'm trying to mitigate this spiritual journey and just really take the next step in how to show up in spiritual leadership and how to show up in these spaces. So a couple of things. We're coming out of hermit season. My hermit season was really dark. It was, I had walking pneumonia. I had a lot of other shifts, a lot of other magical things happening. And a lot of time to really reflect. It's amazing that, I feel like that sickness came to me because I wasn't taking many breaks. And it was this really beautiful opportunity to just lay on the couch for 5 days. And I don't recommend that. I think that self-care is super important. And I know that that's like a tick word or an overly used word in spiritual spaces, but I really think self-care is paramount to expanding into the world and being sort of a productive part of the world. So self-care, I don't recommend your only break ever being walking pneumonia, but it was a really deep journey, and I spent that time on the couch reading a lot of really curious esoteric stuff that I don't have the capacity to read. Studying theology, studying Christian mysticism and spirituality in that regard. So we have a lot of really cool new things, a lot of really interesting new perspectives on things. And I just wanted to pop in and just say, let you know how I'm doing. I'm still alive. And we had a really amazing year. We had an incredible year. I know it's late into January, but last year was huge for us. Last year was really exciting for Stephanie and I. We got to really embrace some incredible trips, incredible journeys with the people of our community. We went to the UK and Ireland, and I still think that we are integrating how magical that journey was, how magical it was to share that journey of being in all different kinds of spaces, and on top of that, just really having conversations about what spirituality looks like, what it means to connect to the divine. And that trip was a journey of women. It was all women on that trip, and it was a really sacred opportunity to experience traveling the world together in community, in that oneness and that safety, and really exploring what the world looks like, which oftentimes I'm hesitant to come on social media. I'm hesitant to come in here because sometimes I feel like the energy of the collective is molded and shaped by what's happening in social media. And when you get out in the world, it's very different. And we try really hard to temper our practice so that we can facilitate spaces of hope and facilitate spaces of love, and truth, and reality. And when we're out in the world, there's a lot more love and there's a lot more hope than it looks like in our different media versions and our different spaces where we can connect online. I don't want to give you guys too much about the power struggle or any of that stuff. But I also wanted to come in and just say, I know that, this is an incredible shift. We are having this amazing shift right now. Amazing or horrific, depending on how you look at it, or anywhere in between those things. And, no matter where you fall on these topics that are coming up in this collective with, in America, especially with our new president and the shifts that we're seeing politically, blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to come in and say that, we're so grateful for you, and we love you, and we see you, and we're really excited about the possibility of using this, really leaning into the discrepancies of thought, these distances between us, the unities that are being formed, the alliances that are being formed, all of this nonsense, and bringing it together in a way that really honors the divinity in all of us. We talk a lot about the transcendent God and the immanent God. The God without us and the God within us, the goddess without, so within, as without. So really embracing what that looks like for our business. And so I always say this, I'm going to try to come in here more often to try to bring some life and energy to these pages. We're also working on building a online portal on our website, which will allow for us to have conversations on our website, will allow for us to have lives on our website. And that way, if you don't feel like going into social media to find, spiritual peace and, spiritual empowerment and those different types of things, hopefully we're going to give you another avenue to just come directly to us if that speaks to you, forming communities and memberships. And I know we've been talking about this a long time, but, all things happen in perfect timing, and rebuilding the website has been a journey. We've reached out for help, but it wasn't the kind of help that we needed. So we had to step back and reevaluate that and navigate that. So membership is coming up. The online portal is coming up for our members to really just come in and be in a safe space for them, regardless of how they fall on all these hot button issues that are happening right now. And again, I wanted to speak to a little bit of our new program called Awaken and Act. So Awaken and Act is our something that Stephanie and I came up with at the Serpent and the Dove. The Serpent and the Dove, to lean into being a positive force in this world and trying not to politicize how we're a positive force in this world. But in a lot of spiritual spaces, there's this beautiful self-care thing that's happening. There's this beautiful self-actualizing that's happening. And we love that because God is within us. The divine is within us. And, as a spiritual space, and a space that really takes a lot of our journey seriously, and just really is, we're absorbing all of these different beautiful practices, this interspiritual ideology, to put like a technical term to it. But, this self-actualizing and empowerment and finding ourselves, this is the crux of what a lot of spiritual spaces are about. And this is, what we ground into in our spaces. This is why we have moon circles. How do we come together and find ourselves? And at the same time, not only just finding ourselves, but also finding ourselves in the reflection of others. That's one of the beautiful things of coming together in circles. And, we always say like-minded people. We love saying that. But the reality is, actually, I don't like saying that, but the reality is when you come together in circle, there's the oneness, and then there's also the uniqueness of everybody who's in circle with us. So it really gives us an opportunity to not only recognize the divinity within us, but to also recognize the divinity that exists in every single person, that human dignity, that God aspect, the goddess within, in every single person. So that's a really beautiful part of being in circle. And one of the reasons we're doing Awaken and Act is because we're sort of shifting one of the perspectives of our circles from that self-actualizing, which is always happening. We're always transforming, no matter what experience we're having. We're always becoming more of ourselves, or grounding. When we set that intention to make that shift and make that transformation, and we come together in a space where that intention is big, that intention is shared, it inevitably happens for us. We are incredibly magical beings. So that's that beautiful part of self-actualizing in those spaces. But also, Awaken and Act has a very specific intention. And that intention is to really move a lot of that empowerment and self-actualization and love and hope into the external world. So how do we take within and shift it towards without? So it's an intentional opportunity for us to come together and take care of each other. It's a specific opportunity to come together and, share perspectives on things. Because sometimes when we see things online, when we see differences of opinions, when we see really strong rooted beliefs and structures, and then we are inundated with bots and bullshit and nonsense, it really makes it hard to really sit with what we're thinking and really see our neighbor, really see our friend, and really see the person sitting across from us, and be transformed by their God particle, to be transformed by the love and hope and fear and anger and, the pieces, all these beautiful emotions that we have within us that are our bodies and hearts and minds and God speaking to us. Sometimes it's hard to do that in spaces when we're not sitting in front of each other. So we have created Awaken and Act intentionally to move a lot of this love and this hope into community. And we are intentionally creating this to be a space where we can come together and, instead of amplify those disagreements, those vitriol, a space to really respect and love and see people. And, Stephanie and I were talking about this the other day, and this is sort of landing really firmly, that, there's obviously, we talk about a lot of things that are happening in the world constantly. But at the end of the day, why do people do things that we don't like? Why do people do things that make us feel unsafe? And I'm talking about all sides of whatever false division or polarity is out there in the ether. But it's hard to have those, when we see somebody who has a belief that's so intrinsically different than ours, and we love them, and we feel that sisterhood or that brotherhood or that siblinghood with them, how can we be transformed by that possibility and not programmed But how can we see somebody with compassion and love and really want to be a part of this collective healing that's happening right now? And on top of that, because we are, it's important to mention that we are high priestesses in Wicca. We have we are rooted pretty firmly in, the story of the feminine, the story of the woman. We are also rooted pretty deeply in Christian mysticism and spirituality. So we're bringing, we bring as many pieces in, and all faiths are welcome here as long as they come in the highest good of themselves and each other and this world. But because we are an earth-based spirituality practice, a lot of this intentional work not only goes towards our community, our human community, but also towards our environment. And again, what's good for the environment? What's not? What's good for humanity? What's not? These are big questions. And when we invoke God in spaces, when we invoke the divine in spaces, when we invoke the Great Mother in spaces, whatever that looks like for you, sort of inviting in that divinity to move through us and help us be a force for good, help us to live in that perfect truth, that perfect love, that perfect intention, and ground that into our hearts, recognize that in our hearts, it's already here, everything's already here, but really how to not only just awaken, recognize these things, but also how to act. That's the other side of why bother grounding all this beautiful spirituality if we're not putting this beauty out into the world. So that is the purpose of Awaken and Act. It is our new product, one of our new products this year, but it's sort of a shift. So Awaken and Act is, these are circles that we're going to do Wednesday nights, the first and third Wednesday of the month. They are online circles. If you are local and you have some kind of interest about connecting, you really love connecting in person, reach out to Stephanie and I. Let's see what we can do. But the reason we wanted to make these online, and they won't be in these spaces, they'll be in a private Zoom room where we can come together and still see each other's faces and still create that circle of empowerment around all of us, blessed in the light of the divine. But it's a very exciting new product, and because Hermit season has been so crazy, we haven't really been able, Stephanie has been at the helm, and what a blessing to have a partner on this journey who can stand up and be forward facing when I need to really be in the darkness with all of my thoughts. But one of the things that really we're birthing through this winter Hermit period that's coming to fruition, that we're planting the seeds for, is this possibility of really creating lasting, loving, hopeful change in the world. So that's our new Awaken and Act product. It is on our website. I'll drop a link for it. I love dropping a link. Our website is coming along. So we do have a new website. It's Serpent and The Dove. There's no the in the beginning of Serpent. So you can go check out our new website, but you're able to register from the website for Serpent and the Dove. It's under serpentandthedove.com. It's under our gatherings. Our moon circle schedule is coming out soon. We had a moon circle available in January. However, we didn't post a lot of that, so we will be getting the schedule up online for February and for the rest of the year. This year we're doing full moon circles in person. We're just doing the full moon circles in person this year, and we're doing the Awaken and Act online. So that is how we're doing it. And if you're interested, you can just reach out, or you can go check out the website. If you don't want to talk, that's fine too. And we are also really excited and grateful, and just coming in here to say thank you. We had a really amazing year, a very transformative year. And I think at the end of the day, when we really when we stop at the Serpent and the Dove, specifically when Stephanie and I sit down and really process how amazing our community is and how many ways we've come together for really beautiful things, and the ways that our community has transformed us, the way that everyone is teaching us how to embrace our leadership, our spiritual sisterhood, our spiritual servitude, whatever, resonates. We're really grateful for that. We are really incredibly grateful for the retreats we had last year, for the people who came out The UK and Ireland was a really, really big shift for us, and we're really excited about, all the things that are coming. And our Cape May retreat. So Imbolc is coming up. Imbolc is in Ireland. It's it's a time of year where we're planting the seeds. We're coming out of our slumber. We're coming out of our hermit. We're coming out of our warm cocoons. And we are planting the seeds for what we want this new cycle, this new solar cycle, this new year to look like for us. And so Imbolc is a really important time. And it's one of my favorite of the Wheel of the Year celebrations, a Sabbath, if you will. And the reason I love Imbolc so much is because it's a reminder that things are always in flow. In this dark season, this cold, we are going to emerge. Spring is right around the corner. So Imbolc is a beautiful reminder of that. And it's a time to plant seeds. It's a time to set our intentions for how we're going to show up in the world. And at the Serpent and the Dove, a big part of that is showing up in the world in a bigger way, to share love and spread empowerment, spread community and oneness and connection. And I had a teacher one time, so many teachers, but this one teacher, she said to me, what does it mean to be in your power to you? What does it mean to work with the goddess to you? And, those are big questions. Like when we sit with these questions, these things that we just say off the cuff, off the top of our heads, these are these words that are floating around the ether of secular spirituality. To me, the goddess is really recognizing God or the divine, as the mother, the nurturer, and even the dark mother, the tough love mother. That there's certain aspects that we have assigned to the feminine, that we have assigned to women traditionally, that have been historically deemed as not godlike. And you can see how the reflection within a woman, or within anybody who embraces all of us, it's not just for women, but it's all of us, these characteristics of us that are not godlike or are not embraceable or should not be embraced, that are lower. Being grounded and being rooted in the earth is not as good as being logical and thoughtful and processing. These are higher things. But the reality is that the earth is very important. The mother is very important. And we reflect on God as the goddess, the divine, the ultimate being, the ultimate light, the ultimate source of good and love and truth. Just to really just sort of break through those barriers of what it means for the divine to really reflect back to us the aspects of the feminine. And we hate I don't like using masculine and feminine anymore. I think that, we have all things within us. We are capable of all things. We are made in the image of God, Imago Dei, and which is a much bigger conversation than I have time for, but how do we celebrate all parts of us? The dark parts of us, the light parts of us, how do we bring that to the table? How do we transform? How do we remember who we are to that divinity? And reflecting with the goddess, the mother, really allows us to make that shift, to really embrace that shift and honor those parts that are within us. So we are looking forward to, we're really excited about this year. We have our Cape May retreat coming up. That is February 6th through February 9th. And that is a journey of self-actualizing. That's a journey of manifestation. It's a journey of planting the seeds and how to enact that change in our own lives. That's what our Cape May retreat is about. Now, the other retreat that we have coming up is at Beltane season. And I just wanted to tell you that Beltane's my favorite as well. They're all my favorite. Every season that comes up, I just love all of these things. But Beltane is a fire festival, just like Imbolc, but it's really this summer. This is really coming out into community. It's warmer out. For me, it's always a celebration of birthing into, I guess we're birthing at Osara, but for me, it's this period of really showing up in the world. It's a period of, there's a very sexual aspect to this, and that's how am I showing up in the world in my most beautiful, in my maiden, in my, my prowess. How am I showing up in the world? So for us, that's about showing up this year, embracing all of our power to come into this world in love and unity. And that's why we're having the retreat at Salem, because Salem in the United States, in Massachusetts, is known for, obviously, the witch trials where no witches were killed. But it is a place where we honor the witch hunt, and we honor the witch hunt in all her forms. And gosh, is that not, I said gosh, is that not pertinent right now to really embrace what's a witch hunt? No matter who you are, you can witch hunt against one side or be on that side and witch hunt against the other side. But all it is doing is separating us and creating strife and evil and darkness. So, and I don't really care about the political implications of that. I think I'm not really assigning anything to any of it that's happening right now. I'll reflect on that on my own. But for community, the reality is oneness is how we heal. Oneness is how we come together, and we are, how much stronger are we together? How much stronger, how much more change can we affect when we work together? And that's the goddess. That's oneness. The goddess, the mother, is embracing all of her children, all their faults, all their empowerments, all the parts of them. So that's what our Salem retreat is about. It's about how to disseminate the witch hunt. And that's right up our alley, because this is about coming together and not only, not changing who we are, transforming to remember our heart space truths, but also it's about recognizing those heartfelt truths, those deep rooted truths, those aspects of the divine that are within us, that which makes us all puzzle pieces for this perfection of oneness and diversity and unity. And that, to me, is the image of God. That's how we awaken that image of God within us, is really seeing God in our neighbor, and how that allows us to really reflect and see God within us. And it's just a back and forth, beautiful journey. So Cape May, we only have one room left in Cape May. So if you're interested in Cape May, just reach out to me. We would love to host you at Cape May. We have one bedroom left. We're really excited about that. It's this beautiful mansion in Cape May, and everybody has their own room and their own bathroom. And our beautiful mother is coming to cater the event. So you will have delicious food made by a precious Italian-American woman who just loves being in those spaces. So that's going to be amazing. And Salem is really going to be about coming together. So this Awaken and Act, these new circles, these online circles, this way of stepping out and being supportive of community and loving of community, and honoring community, all of the different perspectives of community. And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. Take what you want, leave the rest. But it's about seeing the divine in others. And it's also about recognizing the wounds in others. It's about recognizing the wounds in ourselves. That permission to recognize those wounds in ourselves, that permission to recognize the beauty within us. So yeah, we're really excited about that. That's the first half of our year. So we have our moon cycle. We have our moon circle schedule coming up. We have our Awaken and Act is already there for you guys to register for. Cape May, we have one spot left. That's February 6th to February 9th. May 1st to May 4th is our retreat to Salem, Massachusetts. So we're going to start really kicking that into high gear. We already have about 7 women going on that retreat. So that's incredibly exciting. And again, we're so grateful to have these sacred spaces with you, these abundant spaces of really just taking care of each other and building a community. And through that, taking care of ourselves and self-actualizing, and becoming that highest version of us, manifesting that highest reality of heaven on earth, the kingdom of God, whatever you want to call it, creating space for those things to really root and ground into Mama Earth. So if you're interested in any of those, I'm going to drop links, or you can message me whenever you want. But I am officially out of my hermit. I am still in my, I think I'm in my Villanova hoodie. Like, it's not a hoodie, it's a sweatshirt, obviously, but I'm still in my pajamas. But if I didn't come on here in my pajamas, I probably would have never come on. So I'm probably going to be in pajamas until I graduate in May, which is very exciting. And then I think I'm finished school. But we love you very much. We love every one of you. We see you. And there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of love, and there's a lot of goodness in this world, and there's a lot of kindness and a lot of compassion. And even the people that we think are railing against us, no matter what side you fall on, there's still goodness there. There's love there, motivating actions. And where there's not love, whatever, that's their shit. That's their problem. This is a space for people who are coming together to celebrate each other. This is a space for people who are coming together in the highest good of all, tussling with these hard topics. That's what we're doing this year. And we're grateful. I spent a lot of time this break over my Hermit reading Father Amorth, which is shocking, but he is that, the Pope's Exorcist. That was a scary movie you can watch. It's like absolutely ridiculous retelling of Father Amorth's books about what it means to do true exorcisms in the Catholic Church. And I'm obsessed with anything where somebody is selflessly defeating evil. I'm down for it. There are good people and there are bad people in all communities. And, oh gosh, I forgot what I was going to say about that. But anyway, I guess it'll come to me later. I'm going to try to come on again, regularly. But like I said, recognizing the wounds in each other. Oh, that's what it was. He said, and I resonate with this so deeply. And it's, it's a hard thing to sometimes put out in these spiritual spaces because people have been through horrific atrocities. People have been through horrible things. People's lives are harder. Sometimes the lens and experience of people's lives are so much more difficult than we can ever imagine. And sometimes we are the ones who experience those difficulties, and we teach. That's why it's so important to come together in circle and share those experiences, share those wounds, share the love, share all of that. But why is evil present? Why is evil here? How does this, what is the purpose of all of this? And one of the things is to gaze at evil, witness evil, and choose love in the face of evil. Choose goodness. And that is not easy. That is, and when you think about exorcisms, that's like fucking scary, right? That's like the scariest thing possible. Is it? I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I don't know that it is the scariest thing possible. There are really scary things that can happen. But this is about embracing the divinity within you, loving that, and honoring your own human dignity and honoring the human dignity of your neighbors and your friends. If you want to get into Jesus mysticism, the Good Samaritan, you can read that over and over again. The Jews and the Samaritans hated each other. And Jesus tells a story about somebody who hates somebody is the only person who walked by and helped that person. He put out his hand. He chose to see the divine in their face in that moment. He knew they needed help. So it's about seeing the wounds. It's about seeing through all of that bullshit and choosing goodness, choosing love, choosing healing, choosing oneness. And that feels good. And if you do the Sophia Circle with me, if you're a Sophia Code person, that's that peace that passes all understanding. That moment of choosing good in the face of evil. So that felt beautiful. So like I said, we have a really big year. We're really excited about this year. The Serpent and the Dove, Awaken and Act circles, activism. We have one online tonight. You're welcome to join us. Reach out if you want to join us. You want to check us out for free? Check us out for free. Just email me. I'll give you a link. We are really excited about this program. We're having it online because we want to expand and we want to grow the community beyond the borders of what's in front of us. The limitations of being able to drive to our space. We're going to have our full moon circle schedule up soon. And Kate May's coming up. It's quickly coming up. If you want a last minute edition, we have a room for you. It's waiting for you. I know you're out there. We always fill up. And we're so grateful for that. And and Salem, big retreat coming together. disseminating the witch hunt in all of her forms. So we love you. Bye. I don't know how to end this, but I'm going to try so you can watch me figure that out.